Story 1. To feel emotions again. My emotions have been stunted due to massive amounts of stress. I've just stopped feeling things. It's like my mind and body have separated. How to feel things again. I'm not sure. Story 2. Try to get my life back on track after shutting myself away in fear for most of it. Meet some new people and be a little less lonely. Hopefully start dating because I am 31 and never have. I am not really confident enough to solo travel yet, but it is something I would like to do at some point in my future too. I have lost 55 pounds and am trying to lose a total of 100. Hopefully get that done at some point and keep it off too. Story 3. To reclaim my self-worth, I have lost 25 years of my life trying to believe that if I did well in school, if I looked thin, if I had beautiful skin, if I had whiter teeth, if I had more money, if I had etiquette, if I avoided conflict, if I allowed people to abuse and take advantage of me, if I never complained, if I attained financial freedom, if I knew everything there is to know under the sun. Cooking, baking, poetry, playing the piano, singing, dancing, fashion. If I knew how to please a man, if I never talked back to my parents, if I shared everything with my siblings, if I never questioned the education system, if I never questioned the world, life, the systems we have put in place, that I would finally be lovable, acceptable. I would finally be deemed worthy and welcomed, loved. But only now I am realizing my worth can never be determined by anything at all. All the harsh words I kept telling myself, talk slower, eat less, spend less, smile, look happy, say sorry, say thank you. They were all never meant to determine my worth and value and acceptability as a human being. They were never a measure of my being. My worth as a person is inherent inside me and cannot be given or taken by anyone or anything. All these are just ancillaries standing on the foundation of my worth. My main life goal now is to realize with no doubt that despite everything good and bad going on around and inside me, they have no bearing on the fact that as a human born and alive in this time, writing this post, I am worthy. Story 4. Thinking less. I have come to realize that life is going to offer you more chances of sorrow than happiness. You can't help it. You can only think less and act more to keep yourself at bay from negative thoughts. Story 5. As of recently, I am trying to live a positive life, and I try to be a positive force in other people's lives. It is not always easy, and sometimes my light burns out. But hey, I am trying. Story 6. To make money to survive for generations of mine. Not sure how, but I will. Money seems to be the reason for most things. I do not have a desire for it, just that I do not want it to be a problem in my life anymore. Story 7. Survival so I can get better later. I thought I was on track until last week, but every time I make a step forward, life finds a way to put me right back where I started. I'd have given up a long time ago already, but I want to be around for my siblings. I can't go out, I can't get ahead, so forget me, I guess. More than survival is just not there. Story 8. I don't have any. I work, and after that, I waste time on my personal computer. I can barely sleep, so I'm always tired. For the last 15 years, which is my whole adult life, I keep saying I'm gone within 5 years. I guess that's why I don't level up in any way. What's the point when you know you have no future? Story 9. Lose weight and stop sabotaging myself. I walked on the treadmill every day last week, even if it was just 15 minutes. I prepared my meals and followed them yesterday. They are low-carb/keto, as that's where I see significant and consistent weight loss. I feel I am basically doing it now because the pressure is on. My 30th birthday is in February, and that probably wasn't going to be enough. I was going to be the same for yet another birthday. But my company announced a return to office early to mid-next year, and I don't want to be seen as overweight as I've gotten in all this time working from home. Working from home has allowed me to be so lazy with myself. I have no real skincare routine, my hair is a mess a lot, and I wear the same rotated pajamas. So far, they said they might do 4 days a week, but I'd still like it if it was 2 to 3 days instead. Story 10. Get a job, fresh out of graduate school. Have been hunting for over 5 months and I have barely got anything, and eventually try to get into the television writing industry. Story 11. Learn Mandarin. It's hard and slow. I don't have time to study 8 hours a day. I can't afford to study in China for months or years. In 9 months, I've gotten past the first level of the Chinese proficiency test and maybe somewhere around halfway through the second level by now. I don't know. Part of my study is nonlinear because I am both in a university course and with a private teacher concurrently. Those stories of people reaching the fourth or fifth levels of the Chinese proficiency test and conversational fluency within 3 months are insane. I am just a regular guy. It will take years. I want to go to China and talk to the tiger, hopefully more than once. Meet the others, attend the events. It's likely unrealistic and hopeless, but who cares? One step at a time until there's no more road. Story 12, trying to figure things out. I started college a few months ago and just want to survive in that culture. I want to be different from other people. I just don't want to settle for being average this time. Story 13. I turned 30 in less than 2 years. I feel like I have fallen far since my early 20s, and I would like to get back to where I used to be by the time I'm 30 so I can go into my 30s in a good state of mind. Story 14. Move out of my parents' house. My pay is not currently keeping up with rent prices quite yet, but we're getting there. The contract ends in March and I get hired on with full engineer pay. Gotta keep the grind up. Story 15. My main goal is to assist you in achieving whatever you are working on, whether it's answering questions, providing creative input, or helping with projects like writing or image generation. I aim to make your tasks easier, more enjoyable, and efficient. Anything specific you would like to work on next? Story 16. My main life goal right now is to travel. I really want to explore new places, experience different cultures, and make some unforgettable memories along the way. Story 17. Using this year as my call to action to start living properly. I have an upcoming major surgery that I have to do many prerequisites for, and this year was overshadowed by the revelation that my dad has terminal cancer. I'm using my situation as a pathway to build myself up because, throughout my life, I have held myself back over trivial issues. At this point, I feel I've gained a significant understanding of myself, as well as my potential, so I'm no longer willing to waste my time doing nothing. Story 18. I would like to see my stories transformed into a television series or movie. I do not care if it is popular or not, just as long as it is not poorly written. When that day comes, then it will make everything up until that point worth it. Story 19. Find a full-time remote junior developer position in game development, app development, or web development. Then have enough money to live on my own and buy parts to start learning robotics as a hobby, and also work on my side projects until I die of old age. I've been on Tinder, Bumble, and Boo for about 3 years and have had no dates, so I will probably be the male equivalent of a single lady with cats, but more like a single nerd with robots. It's not much, but it's honest work. Story 20. Goal is to look after my family and loved ones. Be financially comfortable. The constant worry about money is draining. We have to put up with awful people at work just for a paycheck and drive far just to go to work. And after, try to help the needy and good people in trouble. Story 21. My folks live with my family. One has stage 4B lung cancer and one suffers from severe anemia, and they cannot determine why. Frankly, I'm just trying to see them through to their ends while allowing them to keep as much dignity as possible. Story 22. Buy land with a secure fresh water source as an insurance policy for my children against the collapse of society and survive long enough to see a grandchild or two. Story 23. Financial freedom. Financial stability. To be able to spoil myself and my loved ones, help communities, and build real-life charities with no hidden agenda whatsoever, but just out of the pureness and goodness of my heart. I want to reach a point where I have become so rich and generous that money is no longer an issue. Story 24. The first thing is that goals should be in our life to make it meaningful because goals give us a platform, knowingly or unknowingly, to gain knowledge. Story 25. As a woman in the United States, I want to preserve my reproductive freedom, bodily autonomy, and right to live my life the way I choose. So, basically, to be afforded the same privileges that men have had since the beginning of time. Story 26. Trying to get into the adult world. I will turn 18 in a few months, and thinking about a life where you need to work all the time, coming faster and faster, makes me sick. Story 27. Stop smoking weed and stop depending on it to overcome my day, my feelings, and my memories. Try to truly enjoy life and not just function like a machine. Story 28. Financial freedom. Ideally, in the next 10 to 15 years tops. I am in an odd spot with this goal where I feel that I am both ahead of and behind schedule in some ways. Story 29. I hope I get my degree. They are currently grading my last exam. Also, I am doing job interviews in hopes of getting a job and paying my bills. Since I am currently struggling to pay all bills and have debts, I would work on more financial stability. If this all turns out fine, I would like to find some deeper connections with others, work on myself, and especially on my fitness. I can only afford pretty cheap meals or no food at all, so I am constantly either gaining or losing weight. Man, I just want stability. Story 30. I am trying to be better with finances and my physical health. I make good money, but I was not financially savvy. There was a lot of eating out, partying, and traveling in my 20s. My liquid savings are not great, but my retirement is solid, so it is not the worst situation to be in. I am approaching my 30s, and I am working on losing weight and being active along with better financial management with my wife. Story 31. Honestly, I have just been binging on Mike Leigh films lately, so I guess I will finish up doing that. Maybe I should find a way to produce excellent work rather than just consuming other people's. I have a house, a job, a marriage, financial stability, and decent health. None are amazing or perfect, but all are pretty okay. Kids probably won't be possible, but I'm not ready yet to adopt. I don't know. I've cycled through hobbies and considered changing jobs, but it all feels like a lot of work. Story 32. To find a way to leave my 25-year career behind because I hate it but make too much money to just walk away without a plan. To be truly miserable every working day is just not my cup of tea anymore. I need to find a way out, and I spend most of my waking hours contemplating how and trying to form some kind of plan. My wife has grown her career recently to a point it may be possible soon if I plan correctly, but she and I will need to have some deep conversations about expectations because I don't want to be a burden to her. Story 33. I would love to buy a home and adopt 1 to 2 kids to raise with my fiancé. Work is stable, pay is mediocre but livable. A better job down the road would be nice, but I would really love a family. Story 34. Happiness. I came out of a long-term relationship into my best and only friend taking his life. I've never been so alone or so depressed, and it's well over a year. The old friends aren't on the computer anymore, and I don't know how to meet new people. Happiness is all that ever mattered. Story 35. Landing the job for me, business intelligence analyst, entry level, at a major trading company. I have already completed an aptitude test and an introductory interview. The second interview is this Thursday. It is pretty competitive with many applicants, and my current job is unsatisfying, junior data analyst at a seemingly large company. However, they conduct business like we're in the 1970s. Landing this job will be the beginning of a chance for a comfortable future. Story 36. I would like me and my family to be happy and healthy. Financial freedom is also a goal, though it seems extremely challenging. I am trying to work towards that too. Story 37. To buy my dream car in the next 6 to 8 years, hopefully, because I am not liking the countries in the world trying to go all electric and artificial intelligence-driven cars. Not gonna lie, I am gonna cry like crazy if it happens. Story 38. To get fit and strong as I enter my mid-40s, you hear so much about the importance of strength, mobility, and flexibility in later years. If I am blessed with a long, healthy life, I want to enjoy it. Story 39. I have a lot of personal goals I want to achieve. Write a novel, learn Spanish and Portuguese, travel to countries that speak those languages, learn how to make pottery, maybe start teaching community pottery workshops. Finally, so that skirt, stuff like that. But I am also someone who likes to waste my free time on online forums. Life is about finding that balance, I guess. Story 40. My main life goal right now is to figure out who I really am while exploring different interests and passions that excite me. I want to make the most of my high school years by building awesome friendships and creating unforgettable memories. I also hope to start thinking about my future career and find something that truly makes me happy. Story 41. Get healthier. My health has been a very low priority for me for the last decade, and I am suffering several side effects from it. This year is about getting my health back. Story 42. Trigger warning. Eating disorders. Develop a better relationship with food and managing my stress. Earlier this year, I was diagnosed with binge eating disorder and then complex post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and anxiety. Through recent therapy, I discovered that at age 6, I developed binge eating disorder as a way to self-soothe during traumatic events, such as witnessing domestic abuse or hearing fights. For context, this is common with binge eating disorder. People eat to self-soothe because food releases the dopamine their body is lacking. As a result, people who grow up using this self-soothing method don't get normal hunger triggers. That instinct then gets tied to emotions instead of physical need. I don't know how to eat when I feel hungry because I don't feel hungry, if that makes sense. So that's my main goal, learning how to rewire my brain so I eat when I'm supposed to, especially when I'm stressed. Story 43. To enjoy myself while I still can. I'm not sick or anything, but I'm confident that climate change is going to adversely affect my life and many others in the coming years. Somehow, I still feel guilty whenever I take time for myself and just relax. I always feel like I should be doing something, but I already have a 9-to-5 job, I own an apartment, I have a dog, I go on adventures, I play games, and I have hobbies like programming, biking, and writing. Still, somehow, I feel as though I need to do more, most notably finding a partner. But I don't want to force myself into a relationship that's not right for me, so I'm just living life freely at the moment. I hope someday I can just be happy with myself.